Welcome back to the Crimson Tide Show. My guest this week is a man who's had some experience with the coaching transition up at the Capstone. He's Bobby Jackson. Bobby, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me, Chuck. It's nice to be here.
Folks, I might add, Bobby also won a world championship with the Philadelphia Eagles back in 1960.
We did, not just me, but we did it. The Eagles, we had a very great year that year.
But I got to add, folks, he did make the game-saving tackle against the Green Bay Packers. Coach, I want to ask you, your first memories of Coach Bryant with you at quarterback up at the Capstone.
Well, it was the first game. The memories of a game was the first game against LSU here. And LSU was favored heavily over us, and we played them a real close game. And the experience with him on the sideline was very exciting. We were scared to death. We loved him after we found out what he was going to do to us and what make men out of us. But at first, we were a little intimidated with him.
And folks, I might add, for those of you that don't know, LSU did go on to win the national championship that year, and they featured a back by the name of Billy Cannon, who won the Heisman Trophy.
He was a great one. He really was.
Coach, tell us, your initial dealings with Coach Bryant up in Tuscaloosa. There had to be a lot of question marks. How was it going to be? Was it going to be better? Was it going to be worse? Was it going to be tougher? Tell us your gut feelings when he first arrived.
Well, we didn't feel like he would keep seniors. This was normally when he started out at Maryland, Kentucky, Texas A&M, seniors just didn't make it. And we had 7 seniors that year, and 7 of us made it. And we all started during the season. But we knew it was going to be tough. We had heard all about him, and we tried to be prepared for it, but we were not. It was very tough. We started out with approximately 125 players in the spring. I guess we dressed out for our first game maybe 30 players against 90 players from the other squads. And it was as tough as we thought it was going to be, and in fact it was tougher.
Back then, I might add, folks, water breaks were not as necessary as they are now. Though they were as necessary, you didn't get them, did you?
We were praying for rain every day so we could drink it out of the puddles.
And rain didn't get you out of practice, did it?
No, we didn't stop.
You know, I've often heard, and it's in a book by Tom Stoddard, I do believe, there was a young man from Tennessee who was practicing with you guys. The practices were so tough, he decided to make a break for it because you guys were locked into a practice field, I understand. You guys would come in through the gate and practices were pretty much closed, and if you wanted out, you had to scale the fence, and lo and behold, a boy from Tennessee scaled the fence. You've never heard from him since.
No, but when he started running, he started taking off his jersey. He threw his helmet down. He got his shoulder pads off, and he had his pants and his shoes on, and he climbed that fence. And that was a tall one. And we never saw him again.
To this day, the man's still running. Maybe he ran all the way back to Tennessee.
Yeah, but he wanted to leave. And I think after that, Coach Bryant said, if someone wants to leave that bad, we need to leave the gate unlocked. But we didn't know if he did or not.
And also, I might add, folks, that there were a tremendous amount of obstacles to overcome there. There was dissension among the ranks. We think that the 2000 campaign was a tough thing for us to endure. Yes, indeed, it was. But nothing compares, I don't think, to the mid-50s back when you were there, Coach. And I just really enjoy being close to you. It eases my pain being so close to you, knowing what you've been through and knowing that there is hope on the horizon.
Oh, there's with our new coaching staff and head coach and the players we have, we're going to have a very good year. And it's going to be nothing like in the 50s. It's just going to be, he's going to turn it around faster. He's going to go from we had a 5-4-1 the first year of Coach Bryant. I think Coach Bryant's going to do better than that. I think we could easily win 8 games.
And I have to say, I certainly agree with that based on what you and I saw at the final scrimmage up in Tuscaloosa. Before I let you get out of here, Coach, I got to ask you, your fondest memories of Coach Bryant up at the Capstone.
Well, I guess it was the Mississippi State game was the first SEC game. And
now, before you went, was that the cigar game?
Yes, it was a cigar game. It was the first game we won in the SEC. And after the game, he gets in the shower with us, and then he starts passing out cigars and cigarettes, the ones that smoke. And we sang and smoked cigarettes. And we knew, though, once we left that dressing room and got on that bus, it would be nothing like that until we did the same thing against Georgia Tech. We beat them, and he came out with the cigars and cigarettes.
Coach, we all know Billy Cannon won the Heisman Trophy your senior year, but Coach Bryant had other ideas about who the most valuable player was, huh?
Well, Coach Bryant, I was voted the most valuable player on our squad, and I always felt like there was only one vote cast, and that was Coach Bryant. And that enabled me to be, my handprint and footprint to be put at Denny Chimes at the base of the steps. You can go by there, and hopefully it's still there, because I'm always telling people, go by there and see if it's still there. Somebody's going to come by and say, who's that guy? And you're going to dig it up.
Somebody, or worse, maybe fill it up with some grout, huh?
Right. So I make my kinfolks check it all the time when they go up there.
I'm certain they're going to be there as long as the Crimson Tide is there. Coach, you look great. Always a pleasure to sit next to you and talk Crimson Tide football and hear about your days with Coach Paul Bear Bryant. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Crimson Tide Show, and look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thank you, Chuck. It's always a pleasure.
Folks, we're going to step aside. Time for us to take a break. And when we come back, I will be joined by my partner, Vic Lockett. Don't go away.